Know your limits. Don't pass out before Oasis hits the stage. What a waste. This shit's expensive. So it's Oasis Day. I'm doing all my errands because it's a Sunday. This is the port house. And yeah, laundry, the basics, and then to Oasis I go. So this is my mom and I getting to the venue via Uber. It literally was so fast to get into this venue, which was great. We had no issues getting in. There was a great drop-off pickup section, so that was very handy. And now this is us having to walk for about 15 minutes to get to the actual venue, which I thought was a little nuts considering all of the people who probably are unable to walk this far, but not sure if they had an option for people who needed help. Yeah, it was a good 15-minute walk from the drop-off location. So this is just us walking and walking and walking and just listening to my mother complain about how long we had to walk. So we were really lucky because I have an AMEX card. I am an AMEX member. So we actually got to enter in through the first gate option, which is the AMEX gate. I really don't think there's a really big difference since we arrived pretty early to the show. There wasn't that many people here yet. So gate 2 and gate 3 was actually not that far from the AMEX entry point. So if you have an AMEX, great. But if you don't have to really walk more than an extra, 2 more minutes to get in. So this is us entering the venue. Those are the sections that you would enter, whatever section you have seats for. There's also a specific entrance for people who have general admission. There are tons of food stops. There's tons of water stations for free water to fill up water bottles. So bring a water bottle. But if you don't and you end up buying one, it is $7. And we just kept our water bottles so we could refill them. Honestly, for people with accessible needs, I don't understand how they even dealt with this venue. There were pebbles everywhere, and by the end of the night they were just a disaster, and it was very unwalkable, let alone un-wheelchair accessible. You know what I mean? But anyways, this is the Ferris wheel, super cute. Was I going on it? Hell to the no. Okay, here's where it gets good. These are our seats, okay? Not too bad, right? Pretty good filming. I'm not complaining. But the problem is that someone threw up in the seat right in front of us, and it was absolutely disgusting. So my mom and I decided to go to guest services, and they ended up moving us here because there were 2 extra seats. The problem is you cannot see the stage at all. You can see the Jumbotrons, which is great, but you can't, literally Cage the Elephant is playing right now, and I can only see them on the screens, which is awful. But the good thing is that throughout the night, my mom and I just said, screw it, let's just go stand in the middle of the floor at the back and enjoy the show. So enjoy the footage of Cage the Elephant and Oasis. All right, so that's pretty much what happened. We were in our original seats in the stands in the clouds, and we got moved to the accessible area because there were 2 extra seats that they gave us, which was great. But again, you can't see the stage at all, and I didn't come to a show to watch screens. Okay, so my mom and I decided, you know what, let's just go stand on the floor. We have access, we might as well. So the rest of the footage you'll see is kind of mid-center, but literally at the back because, I was with my mom. I didn't want her to have to go through crowds. We don't want to be near people. We like going to shows, but we don't like people. So enjoy the Oasis footage, and I'll talk to you guys in a second.
Okay, watch the sky, please. We now show uncorrelated targets approaching from the north-northwest.
Well, that's pretty much the end of my footage, unfortunately, because it was raining so heavily. I was not risking my phone getting damaged. I'm so sorry, you guys. But honestly, the show was absolutely incredible. Oasis sounded amazing. They were saying jokes, being cheeky, just being Oasis, but they sounded so good live. Like, their voices are incredible. The music sounded perfect. Although the stadium is absolute shit, and I probably will not go back to it, I'm glad I went But here's the thing, if you are going to the stadium, because I know there are still some shows that are happening, as well as FIFA is coming up, I believe, early next year, getting home is an absolute shit show. We tried to order an Uber when we left and started our walk towards the drop-off pickup area. There were no Ubers. Fine. So then we tried to call a cab, and our cab ended up going to the Rogers Center, which is downtown and not in this area, which is called like Downsview, North York. And so that was shit. And so we ended up walking another 20 minutes to one of the TTC stations and took a bus from there, which is fine. But it was just such madness. Like, I can't even imagine all of the people who walked to Downsview Station and tried to get on a subway or a bus, whatever it was. It was just complete, utter madness. But again, worth it to see Oasis for the first and probably last time. I really do hope they come back, but that venue is so awful. The thing is that the bathrooms are shit because the lines are so long and people are pissing everywhere. Men are just flinging it out and peeing on walls. Girls are pulling up their skirts and peeing in corners. I don't blame them, though. I don't blame them. I went pee before the show and then I didn't go again. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I will hold it until I get home. Merch was great. I did pick up 2 items. I picked up a hoodie and I picked up a t-shirt, and I'm stoked to own Oasis merch because I've never been to a show. So that's exciting. The merch line went really, really fast. And the only thing that I just don't understand is the tipping culture when it comes to band merch. I'm happy to tip somebody for helping, but not 15% of like $400 that I just spent. Like, that's insane. So be careful when it comes to those automated tipping machines. The worst part of it was the rain, to be fair. We didn't expect rain. We didn't assume it was going to rain. The weather network said there was no rain. So when it started, we were just like, and no, we didn't have any ponchos because there was no call for rain. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't like an horrible downpour or anything. It was just like a mist, but obviously mist over a long period of time, you get really, really wet. And so it sucked going home soaking wet, but honestly, I was fine. I was sober and I was fine. There were so many intoxicated people at this show that couldn't even walk. So imagine you're leaving a show, you're drunk, you're happy, and then you have to travel, like, depending on which station you're going to, for 15 to 40 minutes to get, to your subway, to your whatever, pickup ride, whatever the case may be. I don't understand how people do it. There were people passed out before the show even began. I was watching guys carrying like 5 beers at a time onto the general admission floor. And I'm just like, I know you don't want to leave the show, but then you end up peeing a lot. And then you end up pissing everywhere. Like, it was just so gross. There was puke everywhere. There was trash everywhere. And it's funny because there's so many garbage options, but people just don't give a shit. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. When you're having a good time and you're stuck in the middle of a crowd, or you're stuck in your seat and you can't really move, you're going to leave your garbage. But it was just gross. It was so gross. The amount of intoxicated people was disgusting. I'm glad people had fun, but like, know your limits. Don't pass out before Oasis hits the stage. What a waste. This shit's expensive. You guys are crazy. But anyways, if you did go to Oasis, please let me know in the comments. I hope you had the best time. It was so amazing just standing in the middle of the venue, looking around at the 60,000 people that are at this show with you. I have chills just thinking about it. It was such a magical experience just to be surrounded by that many people at a concert. It's probably the biggest concert I've ever been to, which now that I think about it, oh my God, it is. And it was just magical. It was a good time. So overall, I had the best time. I definitely wanted to go back to that venue for Deftones and System of a Down, but honestly, I just don't think I can do it again. Plus, I'd be going by myself. And the walk to Wilson Station is sketchy. It's very dark. There's like little lights along a path. No, thank you. So anyways, if I can find someone to go with me, that would be ideal because I would go back, but by myself, no. They just need to make the drop-off pickup area better. Like, imagine your mom's picking you up from the show. She ain't getting in. The lineup to get into this venue for drop off and pick up was disgusting. And we waited 45 minutes for our Uber and he was not getting in. And so we just gave up. But anyways, I'm rambling. Oasis is awesome. I'm just mad that that venue is literally in the middle of nowhere. But although my grandpa lives so close by, so we parked there and it was like a 10-minute car ride. So that was helpful. And then the bus was just like one main intersection. So it didn't take us too long to get home, which was nice. But anyone coming in from anywhere else in this country, good luck to you. Good luck. If you need any tips or you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. I usually answer every single comment or I heart it just so you know I read it. But if you do have questions, I will answer them. But overall, Oasis is fire. They were great. I had a great time and I look forward to my next 2 concert vlogs. This Saturday, I'll be going to see Telecast, and then in December, I'll be seeing Papa Roach, The Used, and Sleep Theory. So stay tuned for those. I'm getting messaged. I gotta go. And I hope you guys have an awesome day.